Enforcement sources are telling ABC News that right now authorities are carrying out searches at properties associated with P. Diddy. This is all part of a federal investigation into human trafficking. They also say that this investigation has been ongoing now for several months. They add, our sources, that an arrest does not appear to be imminent at this time, but what you are looking at right now is live video of one of these searches being conducted. Now, this is a search that is happening at Sean Diddy Combs' Los Angeles home. This is in the Beverly Hills area, so you can see a tremendous amount of law enforcement present there all around that home. So this search just began here. There's also, as we understand, another search being conducted on the other side of the country in Miami, because we are hearing from Homeland Security that there are investigations going on using the assistance of HSI Los Angeles and HSI Miami, along with local law enforcement partners. We do understand that they will provide us with updates as possible, but this goes into multiple allegations against Sean Diddy Combs over the years. There's been several civil suits against him as well, including human trafficking.
Welcome to The Awakening, Black Women United. I am your host, Cheri Dani. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and hit the notification bell so you know every time I upload a new video. Please donate to the channel via Cash App or Zelle, because some content may not be monetized and this content is important. Thank you, and all donations are greatly appreciated. Sean Diddy Combs. The name itself evokes a legacy, a hip-hop mogul, a cultural icon. From his early days as a talent scout to his reign as the CEO of Bad Boy Records, Combs' impact on music is undeniable. He's a Grammy Award-winning artist, a successful entrepreneur, and a fashion trendsetter. He built an empire on charisma, business acumen, and an undeniable ear for talent. But now, a shadow hangs over his legacy. A storm of allegations threatens to dismantle everything he's built. The man who once seemed invincible is now facing a trial that could redefine his life and legacy. The upcoming trial is a stark reminder that even the most untouchable figures can be held accountable. The outcome has the potential to send shockwaves through the entertainment industry and beyond. It's a story of power, fame, and the price of silence. It's about the courage of those who speak out against alleged abuse. It's about the pursuit of justice in the face of immense influence and wealth.
All of which he has denied, as this has been ongoing, but again, clearly an escalation that we are seeing play out live right now in Los Angeles. I want to bring in our ABC News contributor and trial attorney, Brian Buckmeyer, who I know, Brian, you have been following this case for many months, and you bring it up to me all the time. And now I wouldn't call this the culmination. In fact, probably this is just the beginning, right? So what do you make of the fact that they've decided to carry out these two searches simultaneously and on other sides of the country here?
So, Kayla, you're right. I've been talking to us about this for too long. But what does it get you? What does a person need to have the ability to search a home? Probable cause. So what I'm doing is I'm looking backwards. How could a judge grant the ability to search these two homes, and why would you do it simultaneously? Probable cause being the belief, or at least having the quantity of information, that a crime either did happen, is happening, or is going to happen. That's how law enforcement must have to prove to a judge or a court why they have the opportunity or the legal ability to search someone's home. Now, why would you do it in conjunction from one property and another at the same time? Law enforcement typically does this because they are worried that information or property or evidence may be hidden away or destroyed while you're searching one property. And so they're looking for something to corroborate the belief that they have that a crime did occur. And as you pointed out earlier, he's facing multiple allegations of sex trafficking. So perhaps that is the crime in which they're investigating. Perhaps that is what they're trying to seek more information from. But in order to search a home, you have to have probable cause. The only question is, probable cause of what?
Please donate to the channel via Cash App and Zelle, because all content may not be monetized and our donations are greatly appreciated. The charges against Sean Diddy Combs are serious, spanning a range of alleged offenses: racketeering, sex trafficking, transportation for prostitution. These are not mere accusations of misconduct. They represent a pattern of alleged criminal behavior. The prosecution paints a picture of a man who used his power and influence to exploit vulnerable individuals, often with impunity. The trial, scheduled to begin on May 5, 2025, at the Manhattan Federal Court, will will delve into these accusations in detail. The prosecution will present evidence and witness testimonies, the defense will mount its own counter-arguments, and the jury will be tasked with the weighty responsibility of separating fact from fiction. The weight of the charges against Combs is immense. A guilty verdict on even one of the charges could carry a significant prison sentence, potentially ending his career and forever tarnishing his legacy. The trial is a public spectacle, with every twist and turn scrutinized by the media and the court of public opinion. The stakes are high, both for Combs and for the many individuals who have come forward with their stories. The trial represents a pivotal moment, not just for the individuals involved, but for the broader conversation about accountability and justice in the entertainment industry. The allegations against Combs are not new. They stretch back decades, painting a disturbing picture of alleged misconduct. One of the earliest accusations dates back to 1991, when a woman named Joey Dickerson Neal alleged that Combs drugged and sexually assaulted her. This was followed by other accusations, whispers of misconduct that swirled around the music mogul. In 2001, Thalia Graves accused Combs and his bodyguard of SA. Years later, in 2016, Brianna Bana Bongolan filed a $10 million lawsuit alleging physical abuse at the hands of Combs. The volume of accusations escalated dramatically in 2024. It began with a trickle, a few voices bravely coming forward. Then, the dam broke. Lawsuits piled up, each one detailing harrowing accounts of alleged abuse. Tony Busby, a high-profile attorney known for representing victims of SA, filed suits on behalf of over 100 accusers. The allegations were varied, ranging from sexual harassment to SA and trafficking. Each story added another layer to the growing narrative of alleged abuse, casting a long shadow over Combs' career and public image. In the face of mounting accusations, Combs and his legal team have remained steadfast in their denials. They characterize the allegations as baseless, a coordinated attack driven by financial motivations. Combs maintains that any sexual encounters were consensual, portraying himself as a victim of opportunism and fabricated stories. His attorneys have aggressively challenged the credibility of the accusers, questioning their motives and highlighting inconsistencies in their accounts. The defense strategy is clear: to discredit the accusers and sow doubt in the minds of the jury. They argue that the timing of the accusations is suspect, many surfacing years after the alleged incidents. They claim that some accusers have changed their stories, further calling their credibility into question. Combs and his legal team are fighting to protect his legacy, to salvage his reputation from the onslaught of accusations. The trial will be a battle of narratives, with both sides vying for the jury's trust. Section 5. A Fallen Empire? Combs' career in crisis. The impact of the allegations on Combs' career has been significant, casting a dark cloud over his once bright star. His net worth, once estimated at $740 million, has plummeted to $400 million. Endorsement deals have evaporated, sponsors distancing themselves from the controversy. His upcoming projects, including a Netflix docuseries, are on hold, their fate uncertain. The accusations have tarnished his reputation, transforming him from a beloved icon to a symbol of alleged abuse. The trial hangs over Combs' future like a guillotine. A guilty verdict could spell the end of his career, his legacy forever tainted. Even if acquitted, the damage to his reputation may be irreparable.
Probable cause. And so, Brian, as you look at this and you watch this, and we'll shout if we see any more movement on these screens, but it is important to note, right, that this is all being run out of the Southern District of New York here. So there is a tremendous amount of coordination happening within law enforcement at the highest levels.
Absolutely. And the reason why I believe it's being coordinated out of the SDNY, or the Southern District of New York, which encompasses, for the most part, Manhattan, is a lot of the civil allegations stem from there, whether it be Cassie or the other 4 allegations or civil lawsuits that stemmed from it afterwards. And so what it appears to be, at least if you're thinking this is connected to the civil lawsuits, are that the SDNY is coordinating with the other agencies in Miami as well as Los Angeles to search the properties of Sean Combs to see if there's any evidence of that. Now, I can't think of anything off the top of my head what would be evidence of sex trafficking, predominantly something that might stick out as to something to corroborate what we've heard in these civil allegations. But if they find it, it could lead to further investigations. At this point, we're hearing that there's no potential arrests, but it doesn't mean there wouldn't be one in the future based on either more information collected or if they're finding whatever it is that they're hoping to find in these two locations.
And Brian, we do want to mention that we were initially told what we were showing our viewers here is a home in Los Angeles, California, near Beverly Hills. That is not the case. What you're seeing on your video on your screen is in fact Miami, and then they are also searching a home simultaneously in Los Angeles in the Beverly Hills area at the exact same time. And to Brian's point here, law enforcement does that often in an effort to make sure that these searches can be conducted without sort of tipping off anyone else that might be involved, which doesn't give anyone any time to do anything questionable with evidence. So you're getting a larger shot there. You can see now just how close that home is to the water as our affiliate helicopter is flying over this home again in Miami as it is being searched.
The accusations have forced a reckoning, a reevaluation of his place in the industry and the world. The outcome of the trial will determine whether he can salvage his career or whether he will become another cautionary tale of power, fame, and alleged abuse. Section 6, Public Opinion, a Divided Landscape. The allegations against Combs have ignited a firestorm of public debate, polarizing opinions and sparking conversations about sexual misconduct, power dynamics, and the presumption of innocence. Social media is abuzz with commentary, a digital battleground where supporters and critics clash. Some staunchly defend Combs, citing his philanthropic endeavors and contributions to the music industry. They view the accusations as a witch hunt, a product of cancel culture and opportunistic individuals. On the other side of the spectrum are those who believe the accusers, expressing outrage and disgust at the alleged abuse. They see the trial as a long overdue reckoning, a chance to hold a powerful figure accountable for his actions. Public opinion is fractured, a reflection of the complex issues at the heart of the case. The trial has become a cultural flashpoint, forcing a national conversation about sexual assault, power, and the pursuit of justice. Section 7. The music industry reacts: silence, support, and scrutiny. The music industry, often criticized for its silence on issues of sexual misconduct, finds itself at a crossroads. Some artists and executives have rallied around Combs, offering public statements of support and vouching for his character. Others have remained silent, wary of aligning themselves with a figure facing such serious allegations. The trial has exposed the industry's deep divisions, highlighting the uncomfortable reality that many are still grappling with how to address allegations of abuse. The trial's outcome has the potential to set a precedent for how the music industry handles future allegations. A guilty verdict could embolden more victims to come forward, leading to a wave of accountability that could reshape the industry's power dynamics. Conversely, an acquittal could have a chilling effect, discouraging victims from speaking out and allowing a culture of silence to persist.
Being searched. I want to now bring in our ABC News contributor and former FBI agent, Brad Garrett. Brian Buckmeyer, don't go anywhere because I have several more questions for you as well. But Brad, as you're watching this, first of all, can you explain to us, Brad, what that vehicle is that we're seeing right there, that big white truck?
Well, I can't see, I don't have a screen up to see it, but if it looks like a cargo truck or looks like any sort of truck that you could put evidence into. So since we don't know kind of what they're looking for, I can give you a list what I think they're looking for, is that you have to have a crime scene search vehicle to go in with the various things you need to do to search. So my guess is it's that, because my sense was they weren't going there to arrest anybody. This was to do a search. And so they took everyone probably from the evidence response teams of maybe the FBI and DHS to do this search.
Yeah, so a large vehicle to collect evidence. It does also look like it has some kind of satellite up in the air as well. We're also seeing local news in the area, and you're seeing law enforcement, Brad, sort of walking down a very long driveway to enter the home, and you're not seeing, it's not a chaotic scene at all. Definitely not. And you're right. Our sources are saying that an arrest at this point is not imminent.
Right. So, quickly, why were they able to go in there? To Brian's point, how did they convince a judge to go in there? You have to have a link directly to these two houses. In other words, do they have video of some of these acts that are being alleged in either location or both locations? Are there witnesses? People that have come forward? Of course people have come forward. Can they put acts in these houses? Maybe they were there firsthand. Is there CCTV that could be seized? Does he actually have video that he collected while these acts were going on? It's not uncommon in these types of cases. So it's all about what happened in those houses that law enforcement convinced a judge that there may be elements of the crime inside these houses.
All right, thank you so much for that analysis. I also hope we can get some video up of the raid that's happening in Los Angeles as well, so that we can learn a little bit more. But in the meantime, you're seeing, again, more video of P. Diddy there. But again, we are talking right now about a simultaneous search of two of his properties, one happening in Miami, the other one happening in Los Angeles. And we just have some new reporting. We're told here by our ABC's Aaron Katursky that the women who have made public accusations against Diddy are welcoming Monday's law enforcement activity, we're told. In fact, there is a statement from one of their lawyers where they're saying we will always support law enforcement when it seeks to prosecute those who have violated the law. Hopefully, this is the beginning of a process that will hold Mr. Combs responsible for what they call his depraved conduct. And so I want to bring back in here Brian Buckmeyer. And Brian, it was the first thing we talked about, right? That this is not the culmination of this. This potentially could be the very beginning. So Brian, what do you make of, first of all, that the lawyers are jumping right out to talk about this immediately, not wasting any time to draw attention to it?
Well, this is beneficial not only for their clients, but also for their cases. If we look to the last alleged victim, Rodney Jones Jr., who came out with allegations that seem to be very similar to Cassie, as well as the other three women who brought allegations, he said that Sean Combs has cameras throughout his home that records a lot of these events. In his complaint, that being Jones Jr.'s, he had snapshots of video that he had taken himself. And so to Brad's point, I think part of this, if the SDNY and the federal government is looking into this from the lens of these civil allegations, is to see how much of it is true. And if any of this is true, could criminal charges be levied against Sean Combs? Now, some of these civil allegations came up because of a look-back window for civil allegations to be brought through New York's Adult Survivor Act. But some of these charges, like sex trafficking, have no statute of limitations, and they have severe penalties under the law. And so law enforcement will be looking at this and saying, if these are true, and there are videos, and there are cameras, or that these allegations can be corroborated through what we find in Sean Combs' home, then they will move to the next step, which would potentially be evidence collecting or arresting someone.
And Brian, if you can, just quickly, while we only have a few more moments here, help our audience understand how far back they're looking. I mean, some of these allegations stem some 30 years ago, right? And they, in some ways, coincide with the uprising of his career.
Yes, a lot of these allegations, just from the lawsuits, I think stem back from '93 or '94 and go all the way up into the production of his latest album in 2023 and 2024. And so we're talking about a long span of time, but even just outside of those lawsuits as well, there has always been these kind of whispers or rumors in the background as to Sean Combs' involvement to various activities. If you're talking about Cassie's allegation of him being part of Kid Cudi's vehicle being exploded, or other allegations of assault or shooting or sexual harassment from Rodney Jones Jr. and the other four alleged victims. This is a long investigation. I think this is only the beginning, because there's a lot to have to corroborate from the people who have come forward, and also a potential of people who we haven't seen come forward to see what evidence they have and to see whether or not it's true, rumor, or something in between.
All right, Brian Buckmeyer and Brad Garrett, thank you so much, both of you, for your expertise. I will be continuing to cover this story as it develops, because, again, as we came on the air, that had just happened, and as soon as we learn more, we will bring that to you live.
The industry is watching closely, the trial serving as a litmus test for its commitment to change. Section 8, A Cultural Reckoning, MeToo's Enduring Impact. The allegations against Combs are unfolding against the backdrop of the #MeToo movement, a cultural reckoning that has toppled powerful figures across various industries. The movement has empowered survivors of sexual abuse to come forward, breaking down barriers of silence and demanding accountability. The trial is a stark reminder that no industry is immune to the scourge of sexual misconduct, and that even the most celebrated figures can be held to account. Combs' case, with its high profile and the sheer number of accusations, has reignited conversations about power, privilege, and the abuse of both. It has highlighted the importance of believing survivors, of creating safe spaces for them to share their stories without fear of retribution. The trial is a testament to the enduring power of the #MeToo movement and its ongoing fight for justice and equality. Section 9. The verdict awaits justice and its aftermath. As the trial date approaches, the world waits with bated breath for the verdict. The outcome will have far-reaching consequences, not just for Sean Diddy Combs, but for the music industry and the broader cultural landscape. A guilty verdict would send shockwaves through the entertainment world, potentially signaling a new era of accountability for powerful figures accused of abuse. It would be a victory for the accusers, a testament to their courage in coming forward and sharing their stories. An acquittal, on the other hand, would raise questions about the burden of proof in such cases and the challenges of securing convictions against high-profile individuals. It could have a chilling effect on other survivors of abuse, making them hesitant to come forward for fear of not being believed. Regardless of the verdict, the trial has already sparked a much-needed conversation about power, accountability, and the importance of believing survivors. The pursuit of justice is rarely simple, and the aftermath of this trial will likely be felt for years to come. This has been The Awakening, Black Women United. I am your host, Cheri Dani. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and hit the notification bell so you know every time I upload a new video.